awesome God, He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above.
Give me oil in my life. Give me oil. Give me oil in my life. I pray. Give me oil in my life. Give me oil. Give me oil in my life. I pray. Give me oil. Give me oil in my life. Give me oil. Give me oil in my life. I pray. Give me oil in my life. Give me oil. Give me oil in my life. Keep me burning in my life. Keep me burning. Keep me burning in my life. Keep me burning in my life. Keep me burning. Keep me burning in my life. I pray. Keep me burning. Keep me burning in my life. Keep me burning. Keep me burning in my life. I pray. Keep me burning in my life. Keep me burning. Keep me burning in my life. Keep me praying in my life. Keep me praying. Keep me praying in my life. I pray. Keep me praying in my life. Keep me praying. Keep me praying in my life. I pray. Keep me praying. Keep me praying in my life. Keep me praying. Keep me praying in my life. I pray. Keep me praying in my life. Keep me praying. Keep me praying in my life. I pray. Today we are looking at the part 2 of diligent in prayers. Diligent in prayers. Proverbs 22:29. See, as a man that is diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, and he shall not stand nor sit before mere men. Diligent is the ability to continue anything that is good. In as much that thing is good, you continue doing it until you get results. But when it comes to prayer, you don't just pray to stop after getting result. You keep praying whether result comes or not. You keep praying. If there is result in your prayers, you keep praying. If there is no result in your prayers, you keep praying. Because prayer is a way of life to a Christian. First of all, what is prayers? According to Webster's Dictionary of the English Language, defines prayers as a humble communication in a thought or speech to God. The dictionary defines prayer as a humble communication in thought or speech to God, which means prayer can be taught. What you think is prayer. What you think is prayer. Anything you are thinking. So anything you are thinking anytime in your heart, you are praying. So we have the prayer of thought. Then we have the prayer of speech, which means what you say out. What you say out from your mouth is prayer. So both your thought and your speech goes to God. Expressing supplication, intercession, thanksgiving, praise and positive confession. So the moment your thought or your speech, this your thought and speech, expresses himself in a way that is aligned to supplication, to intercession. Most persons only end up in supplication and intercession. But prayer is more than supplication and intercession. First of all, what is supplication? Supplication is pouring out your personal request, your personal communication to God. What intercession? Intercession equally means the avenue to pour out other people's needs to God. When you pray for yourself, you are doing supplication. And when you pray for others, you are doing intercession. So you must understand it. But prayer is more than just supplication and intercession. Prayer is equally thanksgiving. Anytime you thank God, anytime you appreciate God, you are equally praying. So when you thank him, you are communicating with him. His prayers as well. Their praises. Anytime you praise him, you are praying to him. So you pray to God in form of what? Praises. When you sing, when you adore him, when you magnify him, when you praise him, you are praying to who? To God. The last one there is positive confession. Positive confession. Positive confession is another form of prayers. What is positive confession? You declaring good things over your life, good things over your church, good things over your family, good things. It wants to look like intercession, or it wants to look like supplication, but it's in another form of just declaring. It's like you, after your prayers, after you take your bath, you are going out, you just begin to declare that today it shall be well as I go out. Those declaration is in form of what? Of prayer, but they are called positive confession. It is well with my soul, it is well with my husband, it is well with my ministry, it is well with my spiritual life, it is well with my business, it is well with my workings with God. Those are positive what? Confession. So let's look at streamline others' activities of prayers. Number one, prayer is communication with God. So anytime you pray, you are what? Communicating with God. So prayer is a way of communicating with God. That means if you are not praying, you are not communicating with God. The only way through which you can communicate with God, with the monarch of heaven and earth, is through prayers. So if you are one of those who always say that I don't know how to pray, that means you are telling yourself that the God you are serving, you don't know how to talk to that God. You don't know how to communicate with that God. And you know, of course, it is communication that builds any relationship. Outside communication, every relationship is dead. So if you don't pray, you are not communicating with God. And if you are not communicating with God, it's an express way to exhibit that you don't have any relationship with God. And before I continue, don't ever think that prayer is all about, I want to make money, I want to get success, I want to marry, I want to have a child, I want to prosper, I want to have travel overseas. Prayer is more than that. Prayer is more than those things. In fact, those things, they are called elementary stage of prayers. For instance, to me, I cannot remember when last I began to pray that God, I need healing. God, I need a child. God, I need money. Those are kindergartens, KG school. daycare kind of Christian. Your relationship with God should be more than things. Your relationship with the monarch of heaven should be more than marriage, should be more than cars, more than life amenities. Fine, you need those things, but prayer is more than those things. If any person is saying that prayer is all about money, all about this, all about that, that means some persons does not need prayers. If prayer is all about money, cars, marriage, children, husband, wife, house, if that is what prayer entails, that means some persons does not need prayers. Why? They have those things in abundance. They have those things in surplus. And that is where the church is missing it. Today, if any pastor climb pulpit to say he want to preach, instead of the pastor to preach, he will begin to preach only miracle. Receive your cars, receive this, receive that. You will be blessed. 24 hours, 1 billion will enter your account. 2 hours, you turn to it, making unbelievers think that this Jesus we are presenting is not real. That if the only thing Jesus does is to make people wealthy, why do they need the Jesus when they themselves got wealth without Jesus? If the only thing Jesus does is to make people get married, why do they need the Jesus when after us they are married without Jesus? That is why the way we present church or Christianity is not the way Christianity is. Christianity is more than all the things we normally do in church. Anytime we gather in church to pray, oh, one witch die, one wizard die, one demon die. That is why a lot of persons are criticizing the church. Because the church is more than that. The church is more than that. And most of this prayer are mostly in Nigeria, in Africa. If everything we do about prayer is how in which we die, poverty die, this every time. Just imagine if 7 governors are the members of that church. If 5 presidents, senators are the members of that church, what will the pastor do? Will the pastor hold mic in the presence of city presidents, senators, house of rep, and begin to pray, poverty die, witch die? Church is more than that. And that is what most of you listening to me now, you like. The only time when you hear anybody troubling my life, confess and die, you shake your head, confess and die, confess and die, confess and die. For many years we have been shouting confess and die. Ask yourself, how many of them have died? How many of them have died? The day somebody you don't like die, you will say it is God who killed the person. That person troubling my family have died. The day somebody who is close to you in the same family die, you will say somebody else killed the person. When it is close to you, you will assume that it is your prayer who killed the person. When the person is not close to you, or when the person is close to you, you will think it is a witch that killed the person. It's African mentality. And the church must see how to come out from this kind of ungodly behavior, ungodly things we are doing in church, in the name of church, every time. So we now think that prayer is all about all those kind of things. Prayer is more than that. If what I have mentioned now, if that is all about prayer, then the church will go no far. Because there are millions of persons who don't need those kind of prayers. They don't need it. So, are you telling me that such persons will not come to church? So the church is more than solving a natural problem. The church is more than that. The church is more than that. Believe me, I'm teaching you good. So you must follow my teaching. I'm teaching you good. So prayer is a communication with God. So your communication with God is not all about earthly things. Fine, you can pray for earthly things if you don't have them. But your prayer to God is more than that. Your prayer to God is what? Is more than that. Your prayer to God is what? More than earthly things. So there is a place where you must constantly pray, communicate with God. Number 2, prayer is interaction with God. Anytime you pray, you are interacting with God. Prayer is an interaction. Number 1, I say prayer is a communication. Prayer is a communication. Prayer is interaction. Both of them want to look at like alike. Communication and interaction. It's like you and somebody is talking, or you and somebody is discussing. So prayer is a discussion, communication, interaction, and discussions. Number 3, prayer is having a sweet fellowship with God. Prayer is what? A fellowship. Anytime you pray, you are doing fellowship with God. Prayer is a fellowship. What is fellowship? Fellowship is where 1 or 2 are gathered. You have that sweet fellowship. So anytime you pray, you are having a fellowship. Fellowship is called spiritual intercourse. You are intercoursing with divinity. That is why you must pray. That is why you must pray, because you are having a fellowship with God. You remember in the Garden of Eden, every day God will come and communicate with man. They interact. There was a communication. There was a fellowship. Not until sin was introduced by Satan, and when God came for fellowship, Adam was nowhere to be found. He was hiding. So take note of that. I said number 4, prayer is what? Is revealing your thought to God, and through prayers, the thought of God is revealed to you. So in the place of prayers, you reveal your thought to God. You reveal your plans to God. Then in the place of that same prayer, as you reveal your thought, God himself reveal his own thought to you. You begin to know the plans of God. God God was saying something about Abraham. He said, I the Lord doeth nothing until I revealed the secret to my servant Abraham. So men of prayers are men who reveal their thought to God. Men of prayer are equally men who receive the thought of God. They know the plan of God. They know the mind of God. They know what God is saying for the time. They know what God is about to do. They know the secret of God. Psalm 91, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So there's a secret place of God. And what brings you to that place is prayers. Is intensive prayers. These things I want to mention quickly must be involved anytime you are praying. Number 1, your mind. Number 2, your spirit. Number 3, your soul. Number 4, your body. So your mind, your spirit, your soul, your body must be involved in prayers. The moment any of this is absent from your prayers have no access to God. Your prayer does not pass the corridor of the environment of which you are doing your prayer. So in prayers, your spirit, your mind, your soul, your body must be involved. The moment your soul is absent, your mind is absent, or your body is absent, or any part of your system is absent from a particular prayer, you are not praying, you are wasting your time. There are people wasting their time. So your body, spirit, soul, mind must be involved in all your what? Your prayers. The moment your mind, your spirit, your body, your soul comes together in alignment, you will be able to access the corridors of the monarch of heaven. And the answers are immediate. The answers are immediate. Why? Your system is aligned to what you are requesting from God.